For years, Dragon Ball fans relied on power levels to help us identify a character's position within the story when it comes to strength. There was little to no confusion on a character's power during the Saiyan and Frieza arcs. We have numerical values that told us, okay, Frieza's power level is this, so it made sense that he was able to dominate nearly every fight he had on Namek. But as more and more Super Saiyans were written into the story, the presence of power levels dwindled. And although their absence allowed some room for confusion, it was likely for the best, as the numbers we would see during the battles against Cell and Buu would have been well into the billions and maybe even trillions, and that would have been too much. So what most of us fans did was power scale, and it's become a pretty popular community here on YouTube, outside of just Dragon Ball. And what that allowed was, instead of us saying Super Saiyan 3 Goku had a power level of, I don't know, 5 billion, people could just make the claim that he is a certain number of times stronger than another character in the story. And that argument is a much more feasible one than making up and justifying a 9 or 10 digit number. But in 2013, a new concept was introduced: God Ki. A type of energy that most in the story describe as an intense pressure, and I think that was fitting for beings who operate on a completely different level than mortals. But I think that the most important aspects of God Ki are that it is not a power level, and that it cannot be read if a character does not have God Ki themselves. And that leads us to the main topic of this video: Beerus. His introduction into the world of Dragon Ball is why God Ki is a talking point today. The level of power he displayed against Goku forced him to go and acquire the same power himself. At the time, it seemed like obtaining God Ki would be the only way to fight another god on a level playing field, but as we have seen, one can match or even beat a character with God Ki without having that type of power themselves. Examples include Android 17, Gohan, Broly, and even Goku. 17 is an android who was on the same level as Piccolo during the Android arc before Dragon Ball Super. Now, he can fight on a somewhat level playing field with the Super Saiyan Blue. Gohan just might be the strongest character in Universe 7 outside of Whis and Beerus, and he doesn't have God Ki at all. Broly made quick work of a Goku and Vegeta who are hundreds if not thousands of times stronger than they were when Super Saiyan Blue was introduced, and towards the end of his fight with Beerus, Goku no longer had the red glow that accompanied Super Saiyan God. Instead, he fought Beerus on the same level as he did before, not in Super Saiyan 3, not in Super Saiyan 2, but in the base Super Saiyan transformation. Now, around the time Battle of Gods came out, there was the whole 6, 10, 15 statement, which essentially was a way to scale Goku to Beerus and Whis after becoming a god. But when that statement was made, I'd bet money that Dragon Ball Super hadn't been planned yet, and if it was in the very early stages. So we can't give too much stock to that statement. But in the tournament against Universe 6, Beerus seemed at least shocked at Goku stacking Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan Blue. It goes without saying that by the end of the next arc, Goku greatly exceeded where he was in the previous one, even without Kaioken. And then in the Tournament of Power, Goku not only uses Kaioken times 20 on top of Super Saiyan Blue, but he sorta achieves two new forms that are linked to a god of destruction. Forms that Beerus obviously had a lot of respect for, and that was seen when he and the rest of the gods of destruction stood when Goku mastered Ultra Instinct. And it was at that moment when I believed Goku finally surpassed Beerus. Jiren was said to be the mortal that was stronger than the god of destruction, but in the anime, characters like Seadra were clearly weaker than Beerus, and in the manga, it's made abundantly clear that Beerus is the strongest god of destruction. But since the anime has ended, Goku has mastered Ultra Instinct again, and achieved his own version of Ultra Instinct. But time and time again, we get an indication that Beerus is still far beyond anything Goku can do alone. Is Gogeta or Vegito Blue stronger than Beerus? Logically, I think they should be, but when was the last time Dragon Ball Super cared about logic? Goku has achieved 7 new transformations or power-ups since the start of Dragon Ball Super, and Vegeta has achieved 5. This will be the last time I mention power and Beerus in the same video on this channel, because it's obvious that he will be as strong as Toriyama determines he needs to be. At this point, he serves more as a bar for Goku and Vegeta to exceed than as an actual character. And honestly, that's been a common trend in Dragon Ball recently. Maybe my next video will be about that. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and let me know in the comments how you feel about Beerus' power and why. If this is your first time on the channel, subscribe so you know when I upload more videos like this. But until then, this is BigTune and thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.